And now, a homegrown Australian-born artist, right here on 1629 AM.
Sometimes I feel I have to let you know there's a reason that I just can't let you go. And it's hard for me to say how I feel when you're away, but you know. There was a time I felt I just don't think I'm sure, but if the truth be known, I love you even more than you'd ever hear me say, than you'd ever hear me say, but you know. And still I always find a way to stop myself again from saying I love you, don't you know by now? There was a time I felt I just don't think I'm sure, but if the truth be known, I love you even more than you'd ever hear me say, than you'd ever hear me say, but you know. And still I always find a way to stop myself again from saying I love you, don't you know by now?
Unforgettable 1629. What a great song. It's from a new album called Collection Number 1 by Anthony Lee. The name of the song is You Know, and it was recorded in 2006, but there's a compilation of some great songs in there, all written by none other than the amazing, irrepressible Anthony Lee. What would he say if he was in the studio right now? I don't know. What would he say?
I'd say thanks for reading out the script I gave you.
It's great to have you here, mate. It really is.
Oh, it's always a pleasure, Paul. Always a pleasure.
Yeah. So, for the people at home, what is, and everywhere else, because we've got listeners all over the world tuning in.
Oh,
so
wow. Okay.
You've got to be on your best behaviour at the moment.
Well, I'll try to be.
What is the Anthony Lee story?
What is the Anthony Lee story? Well, I'm always being... Well, I have been criticised in the past by agents and publishers for being too different, being too varied. Right. I do too many different things and people can't pigeonhole me. So I thought I might bring out an album eventually, call it Pigeonhole. Just to say, well, there you go. But no, I'm a songwriter. I love writing my songs. I write jingles for radio and television. Yeah. I do a stand-up comedy show as Carlos Hop on Top of Us.
We've all seen Carlos.
Yeah. And I do several other characters as well.
I didn't know you did other characters.
Yeah, I do other characters. Doug Kembry, you know Doug Kembry.
Oh, Doug Kembry, the old fella.
Yeah, and the fat male shaven as pig, Rolly P. Grunter. I do him. And when I was working at the Wog Rock Cafe in the 90s, the boss there, well, David had me doing all these other different characters, but he wanted me to do like ethnic characters. So I had to come up with a Tom Jones-Orlovsky sort of thing and everything. So that was kind of fun as well. But I mainly concentrate on Doug and Carlos is the main one.
And Carlos. But you've actually been doing a lot of Carlos gigs at the moment down at Dixon Park.
Yeah, a lot of Carlos gigs at Dixon Park Surf Club once a month, which is just fantastic, you know. And I've been doing some shows in Sydney.
Good.
And up and down the coast a little bit as well. You know, it's great.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I've got to get along and see a Carlos show again. I need a Carlos fix.
Yeah.
They're a lot of fun. And Dixon Park, the food's pretty good there too. It's Greek food.
Greek food. I'm in with Greek caterers. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually had lunch there about a month ago, and it was actually more breakfast lunch. And the food was amazing. See, I love a good souvlaki.
Yep.
And it's to die for. I've got a lot of Greek friends. And hello, Yanni.
Yeah.
Who's listening to us from Greece at the moment.
Yeah, well, it's very authentic Greek food. Martez Martez in particular, she cooks a lot of authentic Greek style food, which is great, you know. So we do the full Greek buffet, and you come there and you have your full Greek buffet, and then I come out and I do the 1 hour show, and then we have Con, who's Martez's husband. He comes out and does DJ work till the wee small hours, and
Great.
So it's a really good night, a full night.
Great, for all the family too. And I'll try and find a number for them so I can give them a bit of a plug later. But if you want to Google the Dixon Park Surf Club,
just get on stickytickets.com.
Sticky Tickets. Oh, there you go, stickytickets.com. That's easy.
Yeah, it's really easy, and all the show dates are up there with all the details and everything, so people can get straight on it and just, you know, away they go.
Okay, rightio. Music is great, and this new album. Tell us about the album. What inspired you to produce this one?
Well, I haven't brought out an album since around 2006, and my last album was A Girl Like That, which featured, obviously the song A Girl Like That, and it was going to be a full album, and I recorded it right here in Newcastle, but it took me about a year, and I actually recorded 12 tracks, but I only did an EP. So I only sort of finished 6. So I've got still 6 other tracks still sitting there,
right,
that haven't been finished, and I'm working on those as well at the moment. Okay. But I decided, because I do a lot of piano bars as well, I thought I've got to have something, because people are always asking me for a CD of songs when I feature them. So I decided to bring out this particular album, and I'm very proud of that, because I did all the artwork myself.
It looks great.
I was pretty happy.
It really does look great.
I was pretty happy with it. I did all that on the back there. I did all the artwork, that tape stuff with PicMonkey.
Oh, great!
You know, that little online.
Yeah, I've used that myself.
Yeah, it's been really great. So I'm pretty stoked. It turned out great.
So anyone can catch it at an Anthony Lee gig or a Carlos Hop on top of his gig and get one of these CDs.
Yeah.
How much are they retailing for?
Well, I'm selling them at my gigs for only $10.
$10.
Yep. That's what I just want. I want people to have my music. I just want people to on an impulse, just say, "Hey, yeah, I'll grab one of those," you know.
And it's a good quality CD. It's not one of those home jobs. It's a proper CD.
It's all been digitally remastered.
Yeah, it's got a CD in it. It's got a hole in the middle of it. So.
Yes, and it's been pressed by the big CD company in Sydney.
Great. Let's have a listen to another song. What would you like to play for us now, Anthony?
Well, probably one of the latest ones that I've done, The Bug. The Bug's quite a fun one.
Sounds like a bit of fun. And
Peter Young on drums, your old mate.
Yeah, Young. I'm in a band with Peter now, as a matter of fact. You'll remember Peter from the Cool Dudes.
And little Howie Ward, Alan Ward's son.
Oh, Howie's on it as well.
He's playing bass. we actually formed a 3-piece band.
Right.
And we called ourselves the Plastic Palm Quartet. I don't know why we called ourselves a quartet with a 3-piece band, but we got another player in. I've got a brain drain. I've been teaching all day, so I've got a bit of a brain drain. Yeah, and we got another fourth player in to play some trombone and stuff like that.
Fantastic.
So, yeah.
Let's have a listen to it now. It's called. What is it called again?
The Bug.
The Bug. Now, my brain's going on me. It's a thing that happens to old piano players like us. Here it is, 16:29. Hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday. Here's Anthony Lee with The Bug. And now, a homegrown Australian-born artist, right here on 16:29 AM.
You got the hot potato, you're the right tomato. Baby, you've got the bug. You feel the kind of gooey, a little ooey ooey. Baby, you've got the bug. When you your feet start tapping and you can't stand still, you get a little warmth, then you get a little will. Oh, you can tell a fella, hell, you might as well. Baby, you've got the bug. Ooh, you got the fever every time you meet her. Baby, you've got the bug. You feel kinda gooey, a little ooey-ooey. Baby, you've got the bug. When your toes start tapping and you can't stand still, you get a little warmth, then you get a little will. Oh, you can tell a fella, hell, you might as well. Baby, you've got the bug.
Oh, baby, you've got the bug.
And I know that I'm right, I see it most every night. So, and I know that you know, now it's time to let those feelings show. Ooh, you got the fever every time you meet her. Baby, you've got the bug. You feeling kinda gooey, a little ooey-ooey. Baby, you've got the bug. When your feet start tapping and you can't stand still, you get a little warmth, then you get a little will. Oh, you can tell a fella, hell, you might as well. Baby, you've got the bug. You get a little twinkle in your eye again, you get a little giggle and smile again, you get a little stepping in your step again, you get a little feeling and you're better again. Oh, you got the hot potato, you're the right tomato. Baby, you've got the bug. You feeling kinda gooey, a little ooey-ooey. Baby, you've got the bug. When your feet start tapping and you can't stand still, you get a little warmth, then you get a little will. Oh, you can tell a fella, hell, you might as well. Baby, you've got the bug. You can tell a fella, hell, you might as well. Baby, you've got the bug. Baby, you've got the bug. Oh, baby, you've got the bug.
Oh, it's past 2:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah, so you know what that means, don't you, Reg?
Oh, yes, it means that kiddies are crossing the road on the way home from school, so you've got to be really careful.
That's right, you've got to obey all the school speed zones, slow down to 40 kilometres an hour.
Oh, that's 24 miles.
People don't use miles anymore, Reg.
I do in my Hillman Hunter Royal.
I bet you have to crank that one to get it started.
Ah, you cheeky whippersnapper.
So please obey the speed zones and slow down to 40 in school areas. Remember, 40 in school areas.
A roads and safety message brought to you by Radio 1629 AM.
Yes, hope you're slowing down the road. 1629, this is Paul J with you with our special guest in the studio this afternoon, Mr. Anthony Lee, The Bug. I love it. It's fantastic.
Oh, good. I got to tell you that guy that I forgot to mention.
Yeah.
Gary Kofsky.
Oh, Gary Kofsky.
Yeah.
How could you forget Gary?
Oh, look, I just had a brain drain. I've been school teaching all day today, so, you know, it's sort of, you know, you get mentally tired.
I know, kids can drag it out of you, can't they?
Yeah, they do. They do.
Gary Kofsky, we haven't forgotten you. Beautifully presented, though. Lots of fun, too. Dog poo on your shoe. That's with the same guys, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Well, that song, I just signed that song in America.
Really?
And The Bug.
Yeah. Do you want to hear a little bit of it now?
It's a great little song.
We'll just put it on as we're talking. Just right there. Here it is.
Yesterday I walked along a tree-lined avenue, just thinking of the one I loved, and suddenly I knew there was dog poop on my shoe, dog poop on my shoe. Ooh, he had digged it out, there's dog poop on my shoe. Try to wipe it off, try to wipe it off. Ooh, he had digged it out, 'cause now it's on my song.
Okay, tell me, what inspired you to write this song?
Well, I was doing a show up in Queensland years ago at the Cairns Colonial Resort.
Yeah.
And anyway, many years ago, and as I was playing, they enticed me up there, and they said that you'd be playing on a state-of-the-art grand piano on this beautiful balcony,
Right.
and overlooking the glorious pool, and anyway, on a brand new grand piano. And I
Nice.
thought, wow, this sounds fantastic. I get there. The piano must have floated across a Noah's Ark. It was so old. And every time I played a loud note, 4 strings would break. And people were filing past me, past the Bain Marie,
Right.
with slop-up mashed potato and sausages. And I'm thinking, oh, what am I doing here? So anyway, I used to get the people gathered around at the end of the night after the meal time, and I'd play some fun little songs and try and get them all in the party mood. And one night I was talking about writing love songs and writing songs about anything, you know, friendship, yada, yada, yada. And this drunk came up to me and he said, well, why don't you write a song about dog poop on me shoe? So I thought, all right, I will. So I decided to, and that song was really hard because I had to try and work out a way of making it interesting. So it's all about getting dog poop on your shoe, then it wipes onto your sock, then it's on your thumb, and then you wipe it on your nose. Actually, and it's like a horror story.
I think we've all been there.
I think so, yeah.
Actually, I remember walking down the street once, and I stood in a pile of it.
Yep.
Yeah, and I was as you stand on the corner, you know, trying to wipe your foot on the grass and get a stick and get it.
Exactly. It's the old Aussie way.
I know. And a person walked up and did the same thing. I said, what a coincidence. I just did that. The look on his face.
Well, you know, years
Nearly
ago,
got my face rubbed.
Yeah. Well, years ago, my wife got someone on her shoe, and she said she wiped it off properly.
Yeah.
And this is when we were going out together for the first time, and she said she wiped it off, and I could still smell it. And I said to her, "You got to take your shoe off." And she said, "No," and she dug her toes in.
Yeah.
So I made her sit outside.
Oh.
for about an hour. It was like a standoff.
Oh, that's not very nice. Poor the lovely Jen. She's a beautiful lady.
Yeah, she is.
You've got a nice family.
I've got a great family.
I really love your family in Charlton. Your son is a great kid.
We're all as silly as a cut snake.
I know.
It's great.
You just what a great.
My wife actually co-wrote one of the songs on this album with me.
Which one was that?
Cairo.
Cairo. Would you like to listen to Cairo?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got stuck in Cairo years ago.
Right.
Trying to get money off the black market, and it was quite an experience. So when I got home, I had all these ideas in my head. You know, the funny thing about writing that song was that I plucked all these names out of my head. All right, and it was Akhenaten and Nefertiti and Tutankhamun, and as it turned out, they were all related. And I think I can't think of the exact arrangement, but I think Tutankhamun, Akhenaten became Tutankhamun, or Tutankhamun became Akhenaten, and all that sort of stuff. And I just didn't know that, and it was all there, and it just all came out in this song. So this song's all about a bit of a take me back to old Cairo, where we were trying to beg for money on the black market, my mate and I, and we had a terrible experience. We we went broke, and we couldn't get. We were actually at the airport. We had our passports taken off us,
right,
because we stepped out of line to go to the bathroom, and they had machine guns at us. This is in 1989. And and they took our passports, and
it was a pretty scary place back then. I was in Cairo in 1991.
Yeah,
and we were we went to the pyramids, and we were actually, the ship that I was on was the Achille Lauro.
Yeah,
ill-fated Achille Lauro.
Wow,
it was the first cruise they'd done in the Mediterranean since the hijacking.
Yeah, and
we were there, and we caught a cab. It was basically 9 musicians in the back of a Peugeot station wagon going to Cairo, and there was a military installation like every couple of miles with kids with machine guns.
I know.
It was a really scary thing.
Yeah, they're like 12.
I know.
Yeah, I know.
And they'd stop the car, and these drapes would go up, and all of a sudden machine guns pointed at you. And I thought, gee whiz. But Cairo actually has some nice points about it as well.
Look, I loved it. I loved the architecture. You know, I wanted to be an architect at one stage. So I just loved all that architecture. I loved the pyramids. I loved the Egyptian culture. You know, I loved ancient Egypt.
Maybe you're an ancient Egyptian.
Perhaps I am.
Past life, Anthony.
Yeah.
Actually, have a listen to the song. This is Take Me Back to Old Cairo. It's a soft composition from Anthony Lee, performed by none other than Anthony Lee, from his new album called Collection Number 1. 1629. Hope you're having a wonderful afternoon. This is Paul J with you with my special guest, Anthony Lee. And Take Me Back to Cairo.
Take me back to old Cairo, money high but moral low. Take me back to old Cairo, that's where I long to be. Pluck an olive from the tree, plop it in my martini, so seductive with her
Unforgettable 1629. What a great afternoon it is. Paul J with you this afternoon with my special guest Anthony Lee. Take Me Back to Old Cairo. What a great song. I felt like I was
mate.
there.
Oh, thanks, mate. Cheers.
Yeah, I honestly felt like it was really good. You got the sounds right, and yeah, I could almost smell Cairo.
Well, it came out on 45. That's how old.
It's on a single.
1987, 45 single. Yeah.
Wow.
And I did a film clip for it.
Yeah.
We took 2,500 black and white photographs, and we hand painted them in by hand, and then we strung them all together, and we did a film clip. And the film clip got onto Sky Channel,
Yeah.
and was being played all the time on Sky and Rage.
Yep.
Yeah.
And 2KO as well.
2KO, I got to number 16 on 2KO charts.
That's a great effort.
Yeah, I was very
Fantastic
thrilled.
effort. I'm enjoying this afternoon. I'm enjoying listening to all these great songs too. The album is collection number 1 by Anthony Lee. What we're going to listen to next, Anthony? Your choice.
Oh, let me see. Can I have a little
You
look?
can have a look at that. He's forgotten what's on there.
Oh, no.
Who am I?
Oh, I'll tell you what's kind of fun. Psycho Girl.
Psycho Girl. I think we've all been there.
You know, years ago, I was playing in Sydney, and a mate and I were sharing an apartment in Bondi.
Right.
Anyway, so we couldn't stand the bloke who owned the apartment, this old Greek fella, because he used to just march in and borrow what he wanted because he lived next door. So he'd come and get our vacuum cleaner, and he'd come and do this and go to the fridge and get a bottle of milk if he wanted it out of our fridge, right? And we're paying rent all the time in this place, so we decided to move. So anyway, we decided to go to Tamarama, and we found this beautiful apartment. And as we were moving in, we were moving our bean bags in, and this old woman who saw the bean bags on the floor, she said, no bean bags in my house. And she kicked us out on the spot. We didn't
Really?
sign a lease or anything. She just kicked us out, and she said,
Because
no,
of bean bags?
because of bean bags. She didn't want them leaking those little
little balls.
polystyrene balls. So I had to sleep in the back of my car for weeks, for about 2 weeks till we found another apartment. But anyway, in the meantime, I got myself a job at the Jewish club, the Hakoah Club in Sydney.
Oh, great.
Yeah, and I told him my name was Tony Goldstein, just to get a gig. So anyway,
dear.
anyway, that particular night, there was this little Jewish girl who was following me around everywhere, and she was becoming a bit obsessive.
Right.
And she came in, and one of her acquaintances was Jen, my wife.
Oh, really?
Yep. So they came in together.
Yeah.
And when I was at the Jewish club, and when I walked in for my first gig, here's my name up in lights. The Hakoah Club welcomes Tony Goldstein to the piano bar. I thought, oh no, what have I done? What have I done? So anyway,
Oh, dear.
so I'm playing the piano, and this Jewish girl walks in, and this little psycho one, and anyway, Jen comes in too, and that's how I meet Jen. You know, I give her a special request and call her Debbie. Right? And but anyway, from that, this Jewish girl became quite obsessive. She used to drive, if I was in a taxi, she used to drive the taxi driver off the road.
Wow.
And jump in through the taxi window.
Wow.
Yep. She even got me so she kidnapped me a couple of times and took me on a long trip and wouldn't let me out the car.
Wow.
Yeah,
And
and
she was a friend of your wife's.
Well, an acquaintance.
An acquaintance.
Yeah. And she even broke into our house once and smashed a few glasses and stuff like that, and threatened to do the basic instinct thing and boil our dog. Right? So anyway, as this song is, I was working with my mate up in his apartment.
Yeah.
We were writing some songs together, and she was downstairs, 2 stories down. She'd pulled up, she'd seen my car there, and she was knocking on the door, screaming in the middle of the daytime, I know you're in there, you open this door, let me in now. And so while I was there and then, I wrote this song called Psycho Girl.
Has she heard it?
Yeah, I gave her a copy.
Let's have a listen to it right now. Psycho Girl, you've heard the story. It's always great to hear how a song is inspired to be written.
And my wife is actually doing the screaming part in the studio.
Here we go, Anthony Lee with Screaming from Jen Lee, and we're going to have a listen to Psycho Girl. 16:29. This is Paul J with you with my special guest, Anthony Lee. Makes the blood run cold, actually, when you think about it. That is a great song, Anthony. I've really enjoyed that.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, I've had that experience myself. Yeah, I'm just one of these people that's so irresistible to Psycho Girls. I think.
Oh, yeah.
Psycho anything. Everything bites me. It walks past everything. I don't know what. It must taste good. I don't know.
Yeah, you must do.
I've got no idea. Anthony, it's been a pleasure having you here in the studio today at 16:29. I've had an absolute blast.
Well, Paul, it's always a real pleasure coming in because, I mean, you're someone who, holds the torch for musos, and we need it. We need more people like you who are getting out there and supporting local people.
Well, that's right. Well, it's important for me as well. It's an industry we're all trying to struggle in and survive in at the moment. And 30 years ago, there was a lot more gigs around.
There were, and you're a great player. You're a great muso.
I haven't told anybody that, but thank you very much.
Yeah.
Oh, now I'm blushing.
Oh, get out of here.
Oh, don't. Rightio, Anthony. Now, if people want to come and see you live, first off, some Carlos Hop on top of his dates. What can you tell us?
Okay, Dixon Park Surf Life Saving Club. If you get on the internet and type in stickytickets.com, 21st of September and the 26th of October so far, and we are opening some Christmas dates coming up as well. So there'll be a few Christmas dates as well.
Brilliant.
But if people just type in Anthony Lee dot entertainer,
Yep.
they can get on my website, and I've got all my dates up there for the next few months.
AnthonyLee.entertainer. Write that down now. Get your pens. Anthony Lee, that's L-E-E, dot entertainer.
Or it might be just Anthony Lee Entertainer.
Or Anthony Lee Entertainer. There we go. Leave the dot out. Don't even need the dot.
Yeah.
Just put it in a Google search and you'll find it. Check out the dates and go and see him live, and take your $10 with you. In fact, take 20 and buy 2, because it'd make a great Christmas gift. And that's coming up soon.
It is getting very close.
Absolutely. It's amazing how the year has just flown. It's almost the end of August. Well, it will be in a couple of weeks. Remember what happened at the end of August many years ago?
Certainly did.
Yeah, it's when the world lost Diana, Princess of Wales. And that's a bit of a segue there. I wasn't going to do this, but I'd love to play this track. It's a favourite one of mine.
Oh, Paul.
Okay, so we'll leave you right now with this lovely track that Anthony wrote, and it's called
Shine Your Light.
Dedicated to Diana, the People's Princess. This is Paul J with you. Thank you very much, Anthony.
Thank you, Paul.
You'll have to come in again.
It's been great. Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
It's been great having you. Got to come in again so we can hear the rest of this album. Okay?
Yep. Sure.
Done. Paul J with you, 1629.
You held yourself so gracefully as the whole world watched upon, from the portrait of a lady to the princess you'd become. From a kindergarten teacher, a tiara, gown and train, and the people found a princess, and Diana was her name. So shine your light, Diana, shine your light. Shine your light, sweet Diana, shine your light. And the whole world lost a princess, and a star that shone so bright within our hearts. You'll shine forever, shine your light. From a private life so public as the tabloids caught your tears, being photographed within the very public life that you feared, and you shared with us your feelings. It was never shown that way, and I never thought I'd miss you the way I do today. So shine your light, Diana, shine your light. Shine your light, sweet Diana, shine your light. And the whole world lost a princess, and a star that shone so bright within our hearts. You'll shine forever, shine your light. It was only for an instant you forgot about the past, and in your final private moments, finding happiness at last. And although I never knew you, but you touched my heart this way, and I never thought I'd miss you the way I do today. So shine your light, Diana, shine your light. Shine your light, sweet Diana, shine your light. And the whole world lost their princess, and a star that shone so bright within our hearts. You'll shine forever, shine your light. And there's another star in heaven, shine your light. From that Sunday morn in Paris, shine your light. All the love to us you gave, may your memory never fade. Oh, shine your light, sweet Diana, shine your light. Shine